meals, let's say it was 4 or 5 meals, that wound up being $75 or $100-something, which in the public eye may not look as good, especially if they don't know that it was actually 5 different events. So our recommendation is at a minimum to really make sure that your meals are broken down. But then this last statement here in regards to creating rules for other expenditures are really important too. You're going to wind up having folks, once you look at the detail, even for us as the reconcilers, will go to the client and say, okay, well, we saw an airline ticket and 2 baggage fees for $60 each. How do you want that to be recorded? Are you okay that it was recorded, those 3 events for expenditures were recorded as one travel expenditure, or do you actually want them to be divvied up into 3? Parking, tolls, mileage, are you okay with putting them all together? Do you want them to be separated? A lot of times folks will be like, it's not a big deal, but that's fine. If it's not a big deal, just make sure that you establish rules up front, either saying that you don't mind if they're consolidated, because often if you say that, then we find that the vendors will say, well, that's easier, we'll just consolidate it, or if you truly require it to be separated. But you should kind of make a stance and then keep that within your guidelines and your training, and then test to that requirement in your monitoring and in your reconciliation. Otherwise, what we find is that the vendors will make their own decisions and their own assumptions. They could be making that assumption based on what their feeling as a vendor is, or based on what they've seen other manufacturers do, but they may not necessarily make that clear to you.